Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you, Reverend Jeannie, for that meditation. I try to make my life as simple as possible. And I come to a conclusion that life is. And some of the language I'm going to use today, if you're English, you're probably not going to like it. Because you are is. And you know that everything that manifests in this world has two polarities in it. It has a negative and positive polarity. And that is. When I have an irritating day, I go down to Ace Hardware and get more cement. Because I know it takes a balance of gravel and cement to allow the cement to become cement and to solidify. So how do we use this in our life? How do we understand our life is? Is that, how many of you try to figure out what's right and wrong to do in this world? Well, I'm going to ask you not to do that anymore. Because everything that's wrong is. Everything that's right is. And if it wasn't is, it wouldn't be manifesting and you wouldn't have the effects that you have. And there's a basic principle in this world is cause and effect. That is. And we also teach that we're all one, and is all one. And it also lets us know that every person that we meet in our life is you. Intellectually, we understand this and do it. But do we do it in our life? Because I still see people criticizing one another. And who are they really criticizing? Is themselves. And as this world unfolds and everything like this, is that we want to know is that if you see someone that you need to feel that you need to tell them something that they're doing that's irritating or that, thank you. I want to ask you to take a breath and then go into the restroom where a mirror is and start talking to yourself. Because that's the first step. Talking is planting seeds in our lives. This took quite a while to figure out, and I still find myself not fully going through it every time. But I found that silence is probably the best way to express and also to realize what is. So is a two-letter word, I and S. I was trying to see how I could relate that I as and everything. I is simple, it's irritating. It starts with an I. What is is? What is S? Well, that's up to you to figure out, because that's spirituality. And spirituality is in each and every one of us. And everything that you have manifested in your life could not be without irritating and spirituality. So how do we sustain this in our life? Every time you get up in the morning, I say, I'm grateful that I am is. I'm grateful that I've gone through and understand that to manifest in this world takes both the polarities, the irritations and the spirituality. And everyone has their own definition of irritation. But I pretty much know that you all know what irritating is. It doesn't take a genius to figure that out. And each one of us have experienced that at one time. So when you're irritating, do you ever give yourself a pat on the back to saying that you're evolving? That there's change going on in your life? Well, I'm asking you to do that. Every time you feel irritated, take a breath and say, I'm thankful that I am doing things in my life to evolve and be at ease with oneself. when I was first developing and everything, I come across this saying, "Peace I am still." Sometimes I would say that 300 or 400 times a day, because I definitely wasn't peace. There was a lot of turmoil inside of me, and I couldn't figure out why it was there, but it was there, and everything. And so I kept on doing and doing. And one of the things I found out about me, if I keep on doing something long enough, I'm going to master it. If I really have a desire, a worthy destination is a desire, then I know that I'm worthy of that. And you know, how did I figure this out? I figured it out through some of the things that I accomplished that I didn't think I accomplished. And everything. You know, I was an athlete in high school, and just about every sport that I played, I started at the bottom of the heap. And I ended up on the top of the heap. As you know, when I was wrestling, they used to call me Canvasback Miller, because you get pinned when you're on your back. And I made a record of being pinned. My last year, I turned that around, and I pinned everyone that I won and everything. And so I took a look at that and I said, now, how did I go about doing that? One of the reasons I did that, I kept persistent, and I kept on seeing myself as a winner. Seeing myself being accomplished with that. And so here I am in 1977, starting up to be a pastor at the United Fellowship Chapel, and there was about 3 or 4 people coming to a service. And I was just starting to do a class on Wednesday night called Self-Realization and Psychic Development, and I would have people fill out a 3x5 card. And 4 or 5 people were coming. And then about 2 or 3 months, I had a stack of cards like this. And I said, oh, look at that. And all of a sudden, there was 20 and 30 people coming consistently for years. I kept on looking at that. And I didn't realize that I had an energy that built thing. And the reason I'm saying this is because each one of you have that energy within you. You have manifested things in your life. And you've done it the way that you do it. And you all know that I'm upside down and backwards because I was born that way. And I found that with religion, if I worked it upside down and backwards, I felt a lot better about it. Some of the people who taught religion didn't quite like that and everything. But I found a way to be comfortable with religion and not practice religion. Because there are so many things in there that causes dysfunction in our life. But dysfunction is, and I realized that I was dysfunctional because I was raised in an alcoholic family, and part of the process of that is dysfunction, because they teach you that. I had a mother that was the most wonderful enabler I ever met. And she taught me how to be a neighbor. And so how do I go about changing that? And teaching the ministry and everything like this, is that probably ministers are the best enablers in the world. So how I went about not teaching that. When you become evolved and everything like this, and you're developing, you're going to have to tell people sometimes things that they really don't want to hear. And I got over that. And I got a compliment one time and said, well, if anybody want to know the truth, go see David. One of the reasons I'm talking about is today, I hear it so much, and I don't see it happening in people. And I charge you today to start being is. And know that, be grateful that you are is. And you will continue to be grateful of being is. Bless you.